Welcome to Epic Conversations with another Epic community member. Janell Karst is with us. Hi, Janell.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Amazing. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so good. Where in the world do we find you today?
I am blessed to live in Victoria, BC, and Vancouver
Mm.
Island, and I love every minute that I'm here.
One of my favorite places on the earth is that place. I love Victoria. I love running along the water. I love running in front of the Empress Hotel.
Yeah.
I just love everything about it.
There's something so magical. I remember the first time I came to Victoria, I sat right in front of the Empress on the inner harbor, and it was like angels started singing. And I was like, whatever it is, I need to find a way to move here. And I made it happen within about 6 months. It was just
Yeah.
where I needed to be.
So Epic members, if you've not spent the time in Victoria, especially in the evening, it's so nice. It's beautiful during the day, but at nighttime, it's just such a spectacular thing to see. Go to Victoria, look up Janell. She'll take you out to the coolest spots in Victoria.
We'll
Correct?
go for a hike and a life chat.
Oh my gosh, sounds so good. So good.
Yeah.
So Janell, you self-proclaimed badass you.
You know it.
That's what I hear that you self-proclaimed yourself as.
Yeah, be badass is sort of a hashtag that I've adopted. But it really was something that I was aspirational. About 5 or 6 years ago, I kind of hit a bump in the road, a rock bottom, and I was kind of questioning so many things. And it was an anchor word. It was like I wanted to find that spark again, find my badassery. And so I embarked on a few different things, and it's sort of been a guiding, like I said, kind of milestone, something I aim to always kind of be. So yeah, be badass. And I have it tattooed on my leg. Like it's something that I love to identify with.
I always find tattoos fascinating. I want to know the stories behind tattoos. You have a sleeve,
Yeah. Right.
and it is very floral.
Yes,
Is there a story behind that sleeve before we get to
it
the meat of the
is.
conversation?
It is. So one of the things in my journey was I wanted to get really in shape and fit. And when I got pregnant with my daughter, I seemed to gain like 60 pounds all in my arms. And I know that's not true, but that's how it felt. And after I lost the weight, my arms were still not where I wanted them to be. And so I wouldn't wear tank tops. I wouldn't go outside. And it was summer. I'd be like the one wearing long sleeves. And it just became this thing. And so I decided that instead I was doing all the things, I was working out, I was eating right. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn this into a masterpiece, something to celebrate. So started thinking about all the beautiful moments in my life and putting them together with an artist. So you will have the ocean on here, which is where my soul is the happiest. I have stars to remind me that I'm a star and to reach for the stars. And then I have flowers from big moments of my life. So the plumerias in my hair when my husband proposed to me in Hawaii, the dahlias that my husband grows for me every single year, actually photos of the picture of the flowers that he grows for me, and the sunflowers that we have, and then the butterfly, of course, for healthy role models, the community that I joined that shifted me so powerfully.
Yeah. So that okay. Let's go through a few things here. So there's so much to unpack, even just from that little bit of information you sent us. So you've been coming to Epic for 2 years.
Yeah.
You joined us in 2021.
Yeah.
So I've got to know you over a couple of years. Not well enough. Not well enough. I'll be very open with you. I wish I knew you better, and this is why I want to have these conversations, just to get to know our members better. And something you do is soul good. Is
Mm-hmm.
that your thing?
Well, Soul Good was a company, or is a company that started basically when COVID started. So
Mm.
we were basically wanted to launch personal retreats on the West Coast. And so we had our first one booked at the end of March 2020. And of course, you know how that went. So over the course of the last 3 years, we've turned it into online programs and masterminds and workshops designed to help people get clear on what's important to them and kind of dig deeper than the usual conversation. So that has been the precipice for me to launch into my coaching career, which is I've done a couple certifications now, and that's really where my focus is coaching one-on-one in small groups now.
So soul good's a side thing.
Yeah,
Still there, but just a side thing right now.
a side thing. Yeah.
Right. So you spend most of your time how? How does Janelle spend most of her days
Well, most of my days
besides
is
just being a badass?
Yeah, well, badass aside, most of my days is actually I lead corporate marketing for a global IT professional services firm. So
Hmm,
probably not the answer that you were expecting, but
I love
I've
it.
been building this career since business school for about 12 years. Right from the bottom all the way to the top. So now I lead a team, and we do all sorts of cool things for the, I have the space program I'm in charge of for our company, healthcare, public sector, and we do a lot of really cool things. So that's my day job. And then my passion and where I spend my time intentionally is in my coaching practice. So that's really where I get lit right up all the time, working one-on-one with clients.
And what is your focus of your coaching? Like, what do you focus on? Like, what is your specialty or your uniqueness? Because coach is a pretty broad word when it
Totally.
comes to executive or life coaching. So I'm curious, what do you
Yeah.
focus on?
Well, I'm certified in both. And what I found over the last 18 months, coaching a variety of clients, where I seem to have the best match is with people looking to move from, that middle age type angst, like that feeling of like, is this all there is? I have all the markers of success, but something still kind of feels like it might be missing. So figuring out what it is that really lights you up, and then probably my superpower is on time, using it intentionally, planning it properly, and doing so with ease. So I have a planning system that I've been working with for the past decade that now I use with my clients. Reflection, planning, and basically making sure that what we're doing with the time that we have makes us feel energized and not depleted. So that seems to be something that's really resonating right now with my clients.
What is your number one like lesson you teach your clients? Like, what's the one thing? Like, everyone's got a special thing they can want them to walk away with. Like, do you have anything that's like hashtag yours? That
Well, I
that
mean, be badass is really what I keep coming back to, and being the CEO of your life.
okay,
So, what I
I like
mean
that.
by that is just kind of having a strong vision and knowing who the people are that you're supporting and are supporting that vision, and then maximizing the resources that we all have, time being one of the most important ones that we have control over.
And is that evolving? Like, has it?
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Let me backtrack. Has it evolved a lot since COVID? Like, has
I
your
think
perspective or your ideas or your tools changed?
Yeah, and I think before COVID, myself included, it was how busy are you? And so you could show people your schedule, or be like, "Hey Stu, how's it going?" "Oh, I'm so busy, my God." And it was this badge of honor that we would
Sure.
carry. And now in the circles that I'm choosing to spend with, when I say, "Hey Stu, how's it going?" "Oh, yesterday I had the most amazing walk and chat with my wife, and we did this and that, and oh, by the way, I'm pushing this book forward that I've been wanting to write." And I'm like, wow, what an amazing life that you're living. That's badass.
Right.
So things have
Living by your
changed.
own direction, your own choices.
Yeah, and look how happy you are versus that sense of like, I'm so busy, I don't know what I'm racing towards, but my God, am I busy, so therefore I must be successful.
People tend to be busy being busy,
Hmm.
right? Like, that's a great, I love that quote. Are you busy being busy?
Yeah.
Like, as you said, it's like a badge of honor. Like, I'm just busy because I need to be busy, but there's no
Yeah.
real direction to what you're doing. So how much time of that busy is really not doing anything?
Yeah. The other thing that really caught me is this quote, and I'm going to butcher it, but basically it's two women talking to each
Paraphrase. You're going
other.
to paraphrase it. You're not going to butcher it. You're going to paraphrase it.
Paraphrase it. So basically, there's an older wise woman talking to a younger woman about, how they spend their time. And the woman's like, "You know what? You're right. I got to stop saying no to the things I don't want to do." And the wise older woman says, "No, no, no. It's much harder than that. You have to learn how to say no to the things that you really do want to do, knowing that we only have time and energy for so many things." And I think that probably resonates a lot with the people that I'm working with, but also the Epic. Like, there's a lot of great ways that we can be spending our time and our skills. But having a bit of focus and intentionality is, I think, really where we're going to move the needle most in our lives versus saying yes to everything, which is just leading to burnout and potentially resentment, right? So that's one lesson I have to learn pretty much every week, saying
Isn't that
no to things that you really want to do, right?
right? Isn't that like a movie, The Yes Man? where they just say yes to everything. Jim Carrey was
Oh,
something. He just said
Jim,
yes to
yeah,
everything. And his whole household life went good and bad because he just said yes to everything.
yeah. And then I think now he's like, okay, what's most important, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah. So here's a question for you. If it's someone who's starting out or a member of our community is looking for direction, or they're starting something new, or they're trying to find that balance, what is one tool you would give them?
You know, one of the things that I really like to do, and I'm going to be doing it for an upcoming master class for healthy role models, is to sit down and do a time audit. So, you know, we say things are important to us and matter to us. And then if I said, hey, Stu, what if you were to write down everything that you did today? When did you wake up? Who were you with? What are the thoughts that were running through your head? What did you eat? Like all the way through your day up until the end of the day. Now, if you take a look at what that is, if you kept doing that day over and over again, would it be getting you closer to or farther away from the things that were most important to you? And if there's a little bit of a gap there, like no judgment, but
Mm,
are there some tweaks and changes that you might want to make so that you're living a life that's more aligned to what you say is most important to you?
okay. I'm writing that down actually, just,
Oh, good.
I love that.
Yeah, it's powerful and simple,
It is. And I think we often overcomplicate things, don't we?
don't we? I mean, the first time I did my planning system, it was so complicated that it gave me a sense of angst.
Yeah.
And what I realized is the more simple we can make things, the better. And so that's another revelation as I'm getting wiser is how can we make this simplified and a sense of ease with it? Because then we're probably going to stick with it versus things that are another thing we have to do, right?
Do you love what you do?
Well, yes, absolutely.
Fills a bucket.
Yeah, it overfills the bucket. It's one of those things that, you know, gives more energy than I'm putting in, which is amazing.
Would your goal be to just do that full time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you
Are
know
you
what?
on
I've
that
had
track?
like a really great career. There's nothing knocking
No.
having a corporate career. And I've actually been kind of playing around with this notion of like, you know, you can have different things and then work together without burnout. So there's
Yeah.
finding the nuances. But
Hmm.
this next decade of my life, Stu, I just feel like it's time to take things up a notch. And if I had more time intentional to make impact in the world, I think that that would just be a dream come true. So I'm moving towards that.
So I have a series of questions I ask everybody in this little conversation,
Can't wait.
kind of like a rapid fire
I'm
questions,
ready.
and there's just like, there's no right or wrong answer to any of them.
Oh, okay.
And this one is you just said, in 10 years. Um, I once heard a really great speaker once say, "Don't do 5-year plans because they're
Mm,
useless." And there was the pushback. He goes, "Yeah, okay, so how's your 5-year plan doing since 2020?"
mm,
Right. And it was like you could have had the best 5-year plan in February 2020, and then in March 2020, it was absolutely irrelevant. Like everything you
mm.
planned and worked out was irrelevant. Still, I don't necessarily believe it's bad to have a 5-year or 10-year plan. At least a goal post or a finish line, right? Or something.
Yeah.
So my question I am asking everybody is, what do you want to be doing in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And like, how does that look for you in your life? Look to you in your life.
It involves, I just immediately thought of hanging out with my bougie, my daughter Haley, and just like having some awesome moments
You're
with
what?
Jessie.
What?
We call her bougie.
Okay. That's what
It
clarity
means
is what you call your daughter.
it means luxurious and lifestyle, but
Oh,
humble in character.
bougie. Bougie.
Bougie.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yes, I know what that
hanging
means.
with the bouge, she calls mom, I'm the bouge.
I love it. How
But
old is
hanging
she?
with the
May I ask?
bouge, she'd be 12 in 5 years. So she's
Okay.
7 now.
She's
So
calling herself
she'd
the
be
bouge at
12.
7,
She's 7 now. Yeah.
and she calls herself the bouge.
Bouge.
She
Yeah. In
calls
the
herself
third,
that.
the bouge.
Oh my God, at 7, I didn't even know what that would. I would have. I was working on my colors still.
I know she's pretty exceptional. So hanging with my family, doing some awesome, you know, adventures and moments because she'd be at that great age where you could go and do some of those things. My business would be like an empire, a growing empire. I really have visions of, you know, having a lot of impact in the programs and the coaching, and I can't wait to build that. So that's coming and that's already started. And you know what? I'd really like to be living in my, you know, I want to beautiful house on the ocean. You know, one of those ones where you open the doors and they're really heavy and you open it and it's just like, it takes your breath away, the view from it. And you're just like, wow, I'm so lucky to be here. That's sort of where I'm gunning towards. So from a family perspective and a business perspective, and then honestly, just being in the most badass in shape of my life, just like healthy on all fronts. So that's sort of the vision I have for
That's
my
your 5-year
future.
flag.
The flag?
That's your 5-year flag, is it? Or is that not your 5-year flag?
This is.
Yeah. Flag
Yeah.
for those life altering goals.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love this question. It is, if you know, the old genie in a bottle question kind of thing, but what is your magic wand moment or your genie in the bottle moments? If you're granted a wish for yourself or for those around you or for something, anything you want, you have one wish. I'll grant you one wish. What would that wish be? For whatever you want it to be.
Oh, well, I mean, I suppose most people would say world peace and health and all those things.
But that's world peace would be at one of those like pageants. That's not what we're doing.
Okay, right.
What is
You know what,
Janell's
if I'm
one?
honest, I would wish for myself to be a magnet for all the things that I want to happen in this world. So like
I
just
like that.
magnetized for all the love, all the good experiences, all the health, all the amazing people. Like that would sort of be really cool to just be that instant magnet for those right experiences and the right people.
I love that. That's brilliant. That's an absolutely fantastic wish, or a magic wand moment. So we're all part of this community called Epic. And epic is a word that is used a lot. Might say it's overused. I see it in car commercials. I see it in all sorts of things. But I'm wondering how you define the word epic. How does Janell define the word epic? Not in terms of the community, just as in terms of the word.
When I think of epic, it's like epic, you know, like there's this energy to do with it. Like it's life changing. There's something meaningful about it. Yeah, I would say something that's life changing.
Life changing.
Yeah.
But life changing in what way?
Anyway.
Dig a bit deeper in that.
Okay. So I don't know, something that, you know, when you're on your deathbed and you're flipping through
I
all the
don't know
moments
that
of
yet.
your
I
life.
don't know that. I
Okay,
don't know
so
that
we
yet.
don't know, but we've heard that when some people are on their deathbed, they will
Yeah.
start thinking through the moments of their life. I'm thinking that there will be those epic moments that you're like, oh yeah, that was amazing. Oh yeah, that was amazing. And so not just the highlight reel, but also, you know, life is 50-50. So the things that maybe were hard and terrible, but when we came out of them, that feeling of, you know, survival and conquering, like that's epic too. So I just think there's something that's like a peak. There's a lesson, there's something big that happened that made it epic.
Love that. So, you know, I often talk about gratitude a lot. And I'm wondering who is the one person that you would handwrite right now, the one person you'd handwrite that gratitude note to, that thank you note to, that has influenced your life, and who and why would you write it to them? If you have one note, back in the deathbed, you got to write that note. Somehow your hands still work and you're still doing well. You can write a note. What is the note you're going to write, and who you write that note to, and why are you thanking them?
Oh my God. So many people just flew through my mind, but the
I
person that
know.
just made me want to cry when I thought of them was my dad. You know, and my dad is someone that raised me, I thought, a bit hard, and you know, a bit rigid. In fact, we didn't talk for many, many years because we just couldn't. But the way that he raised me, the values that he instilled in me from a young age, watching him go through life and battle, I mean, that shaped who I am. There's nothing that can happen to me that can't take away that from my DNA. And he was the reason for it. And so I would write the letter to him. And I guess he wouldn't read it. Hopefully I outlive him. That's kind of the way things go, or the way they're supposed to go. But I would certainly write it to him. Maybe I should write it to him now.
Maybe you
Maybe I
should.
should write it to him now.
Sorry for making a bit emotional there. You can just call me
Yeah.
Oprah. When we were in Epic, we did a little thing, talked about Tom. What would Tom do? Did you get your shirt?
He did.
So what was your couch? If you want, you don't have to share it. You can always say no. What was the couch you were hoping to get? And it doesn't matter. This is where people listen. People come to our epic community, so they know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Uh, yeah.
Like I should put music on the background for you.
I remember actually having a lot of things on my couch. There wasn't one thing that really stood out to me. And I think that's why I was like, let's ponder on this a little bit more. I just love the story of Tom, though, and hoeing around that couch. And that's something that will stay with me forever.
It's the first time I ever told that story, and it's become its own little thing.
Is it in the book?
It is. Tom's in the book.
Amazing. Can't wait to read your book.
I'm really excited. I'm hoping the book is something of value to people.
How could it not be, Stu?
What's that?
How could it not be?
Well,
No,
I'm always very shy. I'm always very shy of saying anything I do has value. It's just who I am. I'm just very humble and grateful to serve. But I hope the book does have some sort of value to somebody.
Well, I'll tell you that you've had a considerable amount of value on me. The stories that you've shared at both epics that I've been part of, the emails that you write, the conversations that we have immense value. So know that. And I don't bullshit anybody. So thank you for being you, Stu.
Thanks, Janelle. I would end it here on that note, but I still have more questions to ask you.
Okay.
Because that's a great way to end it. So you talk a lot about HRM.
Yeah.
How has that been an influence in your life? And a little shout out to Sarah.
Yeah, shout out to Sarah, Healthy Role Models. So this will be my 9th journey. So it's basically going on my 4th year of being part of Healthy Role Models, and it's completely changed my life. Period.
Sorry, go ahead.
There's no part of my, really when I first joined, it was about, health and working out and kind of getting in shape. And oh, by the way, there's this community of people. And I was super lonely. Like I was going through all these changes and I just wasn't able to find, in particular, women that, quite frankly, weren't lame and crazy and you wanted to hang out with. Like I was hanging out with the guys all the time. I'm like, there's got to be some badass women out there that are doing the things but also fun to hang out with, like, and the marketing on Healthy Role Models, I was like, you know what, if even it's 10% true, like I'm just going to give it a shot. And turns out all the marketing was true and beyond. And since then I've, done amazing things in my fitness and my health. Absolutely. But it's been more that, I mean, I have friends, soul sisters. I have people in my life that will be there all the way until probably my dying breath. And that's something that you just can't put in the marketing. How powerful.
Yeah. And it's so hard to find, if we're honest as adults, it's hard to make friends at 35, 40.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just hard to make friends because when you're kids, you make friends because you saw them on the playground. You're like, oh, you like sticks, I like sticks. We're best friends forever.
Best friends, yeah.
Right. But like when you're older, there's so much like, well, what party did you vote for? Well, we can't be friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's irrelevant of a lot of times it's nothing to do with personality, it has to do with all this superficial shit.
Yeah.
So
and
it's great to find people.
To think that it was done mostly online over the past few years with COVID. And then when the world opened up and I started to read, my husband's like, you're going to go meet your internet friends in real life. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is.
That's great. They are real. I swear they're real. They're not just bots. Tim Ferriss is a writer and an author. You've heard of him.
Yeah.
4-Hour Work Week, 4-Hour Body,
yeah.
4-Hour Chef. And one of the things he does in his podcast, he always asks all of his guests this great question, and I think it's old, it's outdated now. But the question is, if you have a billboard anywhere in the world saying one thing to the world, so everyone could read it, what would it say? I think
be badass.
Well, no, you let me finish my sentence.
Okay. Sorry,
I gotta finish it because then now I'm gonna finish anyway.
Okay.
The problem with that is billboards are very geographical, right? Like they're just in one place. You have to drive by them to see them. So in 2023, March 2023, I think the better challenge would be if you could send a text message out to everyone who has a phone on the entire planet. That would give them some sort of whatever you want to give it to them, but like something that, whatever, what would you send in that text? Thinking about like it's all over the world and they have to have context, I think that's, I mean, people would hate it because remember when they had those iPods came out and Apple put U2 on all the iPods,
Oh, right. They
and everyone was
did.
really pissed off about that. A lot of people don't like U2. But anyway, so what would that text message you would send to the world?
You know, it still would definitely be something about being badass, but I think I would add to it a little bit like be bold and badass. Going after what makes you feel alive. And it's not like marketing speak, like, you know, when you're lit up, like
Yeah,
going after more of those moments, the ripple effect it can have on your life and the people around you is immense. And I truly believe that. So be bold and badass and going after what makes you feel truly lit up. That's what I would send.
I love it. What is one thing you want the Epic community to know about yourself that they maybe don't know?
Just I hate cilantro.
Oh,
No.
yeah, that was the thing I needed to know.
um,
What about you?
let's see about me. Man, I don't even know what to say. I'm pulling a complete blank. I guess maybe I'll just turn it around and just say one of the things I'd like everyone to know is how grateful I am that I found this community and the people that I've met and the experiences that I've had here. And, you know, I truly believe that. And it's just not by coincidence that we find each other. You know, we could pass each other in the ships in the night all that we want, but the fact that we're here, then we get to be part of each other's life and create something and get to know each other even better. I think that's really, really cool and magical. So that's what I'd like people to know is that I'm really grateful for being here.
I love it. If there's any way, or if there's anything, sorry, if anybody wants to get a hold of you or connect with you or talk about what you do or just carry
Yeah.
on the conversation or learn more about your coaching or HRM or anything you do, being badass, like anything, how do they get a
Yeah.
hold of you?
Follow me on Instagram at Janell Karst and we can go from there. Love to hang out.
I love it.
I love it
Janelle,
too.
thank you so much.
Thank you,
What
Stu.
a
This has
great
been
conversation. I love this because we don't have this conversation. I don't get to meet people like at as well as I'd like to at Epic. So thank you.
yeah. And it's like in the middle of coffee breaks and lunches and different things. And
I'm
it's
usually
just like,
running
this is
around
so
wondering
amazing. That was amazing. And then we back in the room, right?
and I'm running around wondering if Dr. James is coming.
We're all wondering.
We're all wondering. He's coming this year. He's coming this year.
I heard that's amazing.
So yeah, he wishes he could have been there too. So
Of
anyway,
course.
thank you so much, Janelle. You're awesome.
You're awesome too. Can we take a little picture?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
let's take a
gosh.
picture. I'm gonna post about
As the
how
kids
awesome.
say, a hundo P.
Oh, is that what they say? I'm so
I say it
unaware.
until the kids say it, but my wife always says I should stop saying as the kids say because most times I say they don't say.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Yay. Okay, I'm
Amazing
gonna
or
post
incredible?
about my epic conversation with you today. Is that okay?
Yeah. Amazing or
Yeah,
incredible?
amazing, incredible, badass, magical.
I always give people the option to, like I say, was that amazing? Like both things are really great. Like, was that super good or just really super good?
Hmm.
I don't give them the option to have a negative response. Thanks, Janelle.
Thanks. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yeah, I just thank you so much for taking your time with us. I love it.
Anytime. I
Another
love
epic community conversation with Janelle Karst, a rock star, a
it.
badass. Thanks, Janelle.
Bye. Take
Bye.
care.